Well, very difficult to make very clear plans about what will happen. But what is sure is that the society is divided. We have probably about 40% of the French society who would like to have the far right in power, and you have another 40-50% who is against. So who is going to win? It's very difficult to say. But what is sure is that Macron's party will not win, as it has been said before by your journalist. The next prime minister will be either from the far right or from the left. In any case, Mr. Macron will have to organize a cohabitation with a prime minister from another majority than his majority.
Let's just get into this ploy then from Macron to try and allow voters to make a decision on the far right. And if ultimately that decision is to allow Le Pen and her party into power, to allow an experiment to take place before the next presidency, before the next presidential election. Le Pen saying she will not ride this wave all the way to the Elysee Palace for now, that she respects the institutions and she will not call for Emmanuel Macron's resignation if her party is successful here. What do you think this means, though, in terms of the ability for Macron to push forward the rest of his agenda and for Le Pen to push forward hers?
Well, he will definitely, of course, be weakened by this situation. So we will have what we call in France a cohabitation. And this time, the cohabitation, of course, will be a very conflictual cohabitation. We don't have to forget that in the French Constitution, the President of the Republic has powers in a certain number of fields, especially foreign policy and military issues. So on this question, we will have fights and compromise on everything with the government, and of course that will make the life of Mr. Macron difficult, especially when we are thinking about the future of the war in Ukraine or the question of European integration. He will have to make compromise, and I'm afraid that at the end it will be minimal solution resulting from those compromises.
Christian, I'm a Francophile. I want that on record, by the way. I love your country. I love everything about it. I've worked for a French bank. But I don't understand one thing when I'm talking with my French friends, and this is how they think in any way, shape or form the retirement age isn't going up if the country's got a chance of ever balancing the books. In my own dear country, I think most people with any modicum of intelligence think they're going to be nearly 70 before they get their pension, if they're lucky these days. The French seem wedded to the idea that they can retire after maybe 40-ish years, but 43 years under the Macron rules, at somewhere in the region of 62. I know it's 64 now, but they want the reversal. How is it that they justify, smart people at Sciences Po, how do they justify that exceptionalism?
Well, you're absolutely right that the reform of the pension, from a rational point of view, if we consider the demography, if we consider the budget issue, was the right solution, right? But politics is not always about rationality. In politics, you have also what I call sometimes the historicity of the society. And the historicity of the society means the tradition. And the tradition in this country is, of course, to have a strong welfare system. The problem is that we do not have the money and the resources anymore to finance this welfare system. But for many people, doesn't matter. What is important is to finish their work with 60 or 62, to have a good life afterwards, etc. So, it's exactly like Brexit. Brexit was not at all a rational solution. It was not in the interest of Great Britain to leave the EU, but a majority of the people voted for it in the referendum of 2016. So there is an irrational position of the society, which has to be with the tradition of the welfare state and the fact that, as a human being, you have to benefit from your old age and have a good life in the society. Well, except that to do that you need money, and this money is not there anymore. But again, this is the rational argument.
Christian